What's going on, good people? Rich here.
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Ray P, and welcome back to another episode of The Culture Garden. What's going on, Rich? What's happening?
Yeah,
Shout out to
man, that's that school. That's that school remix right there, man. Nothing much, right, P? What's going on with you? We took off last week, so it's good to be back here with you
yeah,
recording. How you feeling?
I'm tired. Part of why we took off because I've been running like a crazy person. For those who do watch, I'm in another hotel in another city. Shout out to all of us road warriors out here. But for real, I'm tired, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I am feeling good. She works hard for the money, y'all. She works
Period.
hard for the money, straight up. But
Who
no,
will
I'm
cry?
doing well. You said what?
Who will cry for the little girl?
Hey, I do want to say thank you to everybody out there. This is our first time recording since my birthday.
Hey,
So I just want to say shout out to everybody for the birthday love. It was definitely felt and appreciated. Thank y'all for that.
for sure.
Always, I'm at that age now where it's a blessing just to wake up. I
That's
don't want
it.
nothing for my birthday. Life is a blessing. Yeah, I'm at that age now. So,
Oh,
um,
I'm never gonna be that age. I always want something for my birthday.
all right, I already know your birthday is an event. It's a holiday. It's
It
on my
is.
calendar as a holiday. All
Amen.
of that, as
As
it
it
should
should.
be, as it should be. So yeah, right. Some people, there's some people that ask for this specifically. And a couple whispers throughout the year, like, hey, y'all doing another romance month? Like, what's going on? What y'all doing?
Yeah.
Um, and we had kicked the idea around, but never fully committed. But here we are.
Here
It's
we are.
romance month, part two. I don't know about you. I don't want to speak for you, Rachel, but I still get compliments about Malcolm and Marie in the photograph.
It was so good. They both were so
Yeah.
good. I've gone back and listened even since then. And not to toot our own horns, but high key, we smoked that shit.
I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. It is one of those, and it's funny because I was talking to Mo earlier today, and
Hey, Mo.
he was telling me about how it's okay to say you're good,
Yeah, it
certain
is.
things. It's okay to like just hey, I did a good job on this. I'm good at this.
Yeah.
And those are two of those episodes where I'm like, oh yeah. And we recorded those last February. Um,
Mhm.
I haven't listened to or going back to listen to everything we've done, but those two are up near the top of some that I've listened to multiple times,
Yeah.
just out of entertainment. Even though I was there, like it's just if I don't
Yeah.
have anything else to listen to, I'll throw them on and get a week all over again or be intrigued with the conversation. So I am excited. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to get another romance month kicking off with you. It's going to be Rachel and myself holding it down, same way as we did last year.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing the romance movies the remainder of this month. But do not worry, do not fear. The difference between last year and this year is School has his own podcast.
Hey.
So School's Guilty Pleasures, he will be releasing an episode next week.
Mhm.
So be on the lookout for that. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to speak a little too early. If I'm not mistaken, I think we got y'all might be back next week. I don't know.
We got y'all is on this way back, baby. We
Yeah,
got
man. I think we
y'all. Don't
got y'all
worry.
might be. Exactly. Raising Canaan is wrapping up as a series. We didn't cover it, but I think it would be a good time to share some thoughts. It's been an incredible season.
For sure.
Um,
For sure. And so we'll also have it in tuck for what is it going to be? Season 3 of Raising Canaan or
se-
season 4?
season four,
Yeah.
yeah, because we went back and forth about it, and it started at the wrong time of the year for us. We were just way too
Right.
busy with other content, and it just
Right.
we're if we're gonna do something, we're gonna give y'all our best effort.
For sure.
There's been times where we force things, Succession, which is my fault. I'm not saying Succession wasn't good, but it wasn't your traditional "we got y'all" type of
Yeah.
thing. It was something we wanted to talk about because everybody was talking about,
Hmm.
and I think you, myself, and shout out to Brian for helping us out with that. I think
Yeah.
all three of us would have been fine just being fans and watching it.
For sure.
Um,
For
and I
sure.
made the decision right then and there. Like I'll never like Ray P has full creative. That's her shit. Because the Succession was definitely my idea. But
Yeah.
no, we're gonna be back for y'all, and there's some cool twists. We're gonna expand. We got y'all a little bit, so
For sure.
be on the lookout for that. I talked about SGP. Check out our Linktree. You will find those episodes, or excuse me, those podcasts, as well as our YouTube page and our social media
For
in
sure.
that link tree. Before we get started today, there will be spoilers and explicit content. in today's film to kick off Romance Month 2024 is Beyond the Lights. Synopsis of the film. The pressures of fame have superstar singer Noni on the edge until she meets Kaz, a young cop who works to help her find the courage to develop her own voice and break free to become the artist she was meant to be. As far as stats go, I think it actually premiered at Sundance. I think September 2014, and then had a theatrical release November 14th of 2014. Directed and written by Gina Prince Bythewood. We've spoken about her before. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We covered Love and Basketball. Incredible talent, really. I read one of those reviews, and they were just saying, like, this film makes you realize that Gina is not working enough. And I'm sure that's not by her choice. It had been 6 years since she had like done a movie, and then this kind of, we'll talk about it in the origin. But just, this is my first time watching it. We'll talk about all this, but had a budget of an estimated $7 million and made $14.6 million worldwide, $6.2 million the opening weekend. So it did double its budget. And if you want to watch the film, it is currently streaming on Stars. Real quick, some awards. So it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Achievement in Music Original Song. Diane Warren for the song Grateful. You can look up like some beef or issues because Rita Ora performed the song, but Diane Warren was the one nominated, and there was a whole bunch of back and forth. That's not really our thing here, but it was pretty interesting, I guess, to say the least. It was nominated for Best Movie at the BET Awards, nominated for 4 NAACP Image Awards, Outstanding Motion Picture, Outstanding Actor for Nate Parker, Outstanding Supporting Actor for Danny Glover, and Outstanding Directing. And it was nominated, shout out to our peoples, nominated for 7 Black Reel Awards in 2015. Real quick, and I got to tell you something real funny real quick, Rachel, but as far as what it was nominated for in the Black Reel Awards, Outstanding Motion Picture, Outstanding Actor for Nate Parker, Outstanding Actress for Gugu Mbatha Raw. My bad. My iPad locked up on me. Outstanding Director, Outstanding Screenplay, both of those for Gina Prince Bythewood, Outstanding Score, and Outstanding Original Song. So these were all nominations. None of these, any of the awards that I just mentioned, they didn't win, but they were nominated for all those awards. And I was looking through the Black Reel Awards, and I obviously saw Gugu Mbatha Raw, and I'm thinking, well, damn, like I loved her in this film. Like really loved her in this film. And I'm thinking, like, who won? Like who beat her this year? Just out of curiosity. Guess who won?
Who?
She did. She had another movie called Belle.
I was thinking Belle. Okay.
And she won. She was nominated for Best Actress, twice in the same year. And it just made sense. Cause I'm like, oh, she nice.
I knew she was on a run. I don't think I realized that both of those movies came out the same year.
See, I don't know how they did the cutoff dates, but I'm pretty sure Belle came out 2013.
Yeah.
Towards the end. So I don't know how that all worked out. But either way, I thought it was just pretty funny when I'm thinking, like, damn, who stole the award from her? And it was herself. As far as the cast, we just mentioned Gugu Mbatha Raw as Noni Jean. This was written as an American role. She even auditioned with an American accent, and Gina heard her speak in her British accent and decided to change the character and make her English. So the opening scene, that background of her being from England. And I wonder, well, I guess, so Gugu, Nate, and Danny Glover were the first 3 attached to this film. So I guess since she made that change, that's why Minnie Driver got involved, because I'm sure that role might have went to someone else, an American-born actress, if not. We had Nate Parker as Kaz Nicole, Minnie Driver as Macy Jean, Danny Glover as Captain David Nicole, Colson Baker, better known as Machine Gun Kelly, as Kid Culprit, Benito Martinez as Jesse Soria. Rachel may know him from Queen and Slim. I'm familiar with him from Sons of Anarchy, if anybody's watched that show. He had a role in there. We have India Jean Jock, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name, as young Noni. So she was 1998 Noni. And we have some appearances from Isaac Keys. Shout out to Jonas. Shout out to Diamond, if you watch Force in the Power universe. We had Jordan Belfi as Steve Sams, this tabloid reporter. He might not mean anything to most of you, but if you're an Entourage fan, as I am, he played Adam Davies. 20th anniversary of Entourage is this year. That's crazy. And then, of course, we have an appearance from the legend Shaka Khan, who made a very brief cameo in this film, amongst some others that you see, of course,
Did you
at
say
the
Aisha
billboard.
Hunt?
No, I didn't.
Shout out to her.
Yes,
The
definitely. Strategist.
strategist. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call her a strategist. Yes. Thanks for that, because I definitely had her name and forgot to write it down. And that's the whole purpose of the show. So shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Rachel, right, P?
Yeah. Yes.
This was your week to pick.
Mm-hmm.
What made you go with this film?
I knew that I wanted to cover Beyond the Lights in February because I rewatched Beyond the Lights while I was off work the last week of December. And it had been a long time since I'd seen it. And it happened to be on Stars where it's streaming. And I'm like, yo, I love this movie. And so again, we hadn't really decided if we were going to do a romance movie, but I knew that I was going to do it, even if
right, whether romance or not, you know.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, and I said it. I put it in the chat early, like, "Oh, I'm doing this. This is my pick, regardless." So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll have a more robust conversation when we get to first experiences.
For sure.
But I have to ask you, and I don't know if I'm necessarily qualified since this was my first time watching this film. Classic or not, Rachel?
It's not a classic, but okay. I love this movie. I don't think it meets classic criteria, quote unquote. And I don't culturally relevant because it's a blackish movie.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that here in a second.
Or oh damn, it's this girl on Twitter who always Amerikraut is her Twitter name, but she always differentiates like black. What kind of black are you? Are you red beans and rice or scone and beans? So it's scone and beans black, but
okay, that's fair. I like that.
Yeah, but I genuinely like this movie. It's a bit too long, and we'll get into that. But I love this movie.
I think we might have the same issue or have the same thing you can cut out as far as it being a bit too long. So I can't wait to get to that part. I agree with you there. Like I said, I'm not necessarily qualified because I haven't seen enough I haven't watched it enough, excuse me. I haven't sat with it long enough. But if you were to tell me it was a classic, then I 100% understand why.
Yeah.
I understand why it's a classic to you and why you would feel that way. As far as the origin of the film, so Gina Prince Bythewood thought this would be an easy sell. She had this script, she wrote it, thought it was going to be an easy pitch to the studios. I made Love and Basketball.
Yeah,
like, I'm good at this rhyme whole thing. So she pitched it to every single studio. They all said no. They kind of like saw it, to your point, as a black romance film in a sense. And they were just like, we cool. And there was only one studio that said they would make it, or they didn't even say it. They showed interest, but they didn't guarantee that they would be made. And they said that they needed a white male to co-star across from Noni. Obviously, Gina was like, nah, like I got my guy. I think it's going to be Nate Parker. And I'm like, well, if you're not getting a white co-star, we're not going to make it. And they pulled out. So she was back at the drawing board, straight up. Like, that's what we need to market this movie and to make it something. So she was back at the drawing board. She knew that Google was the one when she saw her. It's very similar. If you go back and listen to our Love and Basketball episode, we talked about Gina's process and what she wanted for that role of Monica, because it's an athlete. You know, she wanted an athlete first, and then thought about it and saying, you know what, this is really a love story. It's not a sports movie. Let me get an actor, and we can teach her to play basketball. She saw Google and was like, okay, this is it. This is who I need. Studios were like, we want a real pop star. We want Beyonce. We want Rihanna. We want Alicia Keys. These are actually the real names that were tossed around studios. This is who we want to play this role. And Gina was like, nah, like she can do this. And the studio was like, nah, she's not a star. This is a movie about a pop star. We need a star to do it.
Wow.
And then they passed. Like, they passed on her too. So we're not going to make this if this is your lead. All the studios were mapped out. I think it was Sony that said that to her directly. And then her husband, Reggie Rock Bythewood, who's also a director, he told her, look, you should make like a presentation with Gugu playing Noni so you can show studios that she can do this. And Lena Waithe, your girl, produced it. And Bradford Young was a cinematographer, very famous and successful cinematographer. From there, BET financed the film. Relativity agreed to distribute.
Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, I know, right? The rest, as they say, was history. I really need to hear from these studios when they fuck up like this. You know what I mean? I need a story. I need somebody to Hollywood Reporter, Variety, whoever, to go in some of these offices and question some of these studio heads. Like, yo, what was it about her that made you think it wasn't a star? Or, you know, do you feel bad about not? Because not only was she had 2 hits. We talked about Bill, and she just, I don't know. I don't. Maybe I'm overhyping it because it's my first watch, but she was damn good in this movie, right?
She was.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. But real quick, so going to the black movie thing, when they were promoting the film, Gina made a point to say this is not a black film, which I understand what she was doing.
Yeah.
It's the age-old, if you call it a black film, they're going to market it to only black people, when it's really, she used the example of The Notebook. It's really a love story. It's just a good story, and there's black people happening to be the leads. You can make any race these leads, and it's going to be the same story in the same movie. And that's what she was trying to get to. But I understand what she meant, but I don't know. Like you said, I think you said it perfectly. Scones and what'd you say? Scones and what?
Scones and beans. You know that their breakfast is wild over there.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all across the pond.
Yeah, across the pond, bruv. Yeah, shout out to
right.
our bruvs over there.
Bruv black, not bruh black.
Yeah, straight up. But it is a love story before it's an urban film, and I know she didn't want it to be pushed that way, so I respect it. That's an interesting conversation that we're not gonna have here, but just that whole conversation. You know, Idris came out last year talking about he doesn't want to be known as a black actor and yada yada yada. Very interesting to think about. Very interesting to discuss. We're not going to do it today, but you know, everybody knows that's a thing. So I want to talk to you about your first experiences, Rachel. Do you remember your first time seeing this film?
I do. The first time I actually saw this movie was at home, on the couch, at my home in Charlotte, obviously, because I was living there in my apartment. I wasn't in my house at the time. But yeah, I did not see this in theaters for whatever reason, because I love the movies. But yeah, the first time I saw this was probably its cable network debut. And I loved it. I was like, oh, shout out to this. I feel the same way about this as I do about Top 5, something else that I saw at home. And I was like, oh, I should have gone to see this. And that was my immediate takeaway.
Chris Rock Top 5? Okay. So I've said it a couple times already. This is my first time watching this. I don't even remember a trailer for this film, Rachel.
Really?
I don't even remember a trailer. And let me be all the way real with you. Let me tell you where my mind is, and why I was pleasantly surprised with this watch. And it reminded me a little bit of Chevalier, where you guys said you don't remember seeing a trailer. That's how I felt about this. And obviously, watching it and seeing who was in it, I'm like, well, damn, there's some people in it. Why don't I remember this?
Yeah.
And then I looked at the movie poster, Rachel, and I remembered why I didn't see it. What was that movie when we were in high school? The American Idol joint from Justin to Kelly. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so for anybody out there listening, if you are 30s, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say in your 30s. American Idol, when it was at its peak, when Kelly Clarkson won, I guess the runner-up was this dude named Justin, and they made this movie, this awful movie called From Justin to Kelly. And for some reason, the poster reminded me of it because I knew it had something to do with like the music business and the fame and trying to get away. And it was just something about it. And keep in mind, I had no idea that Gina directed it. I didn't look up any of this information. Nate Parker, I knew who he was, but he wasn't like a star to me. And I had no idea who Google was. So it was just one of those things. I'm like, what is this? Like, I'm not, it kind of feels Empire-ish. It feels from Justin to Kelly-ish. It felt like not Disney, the movies, but Disney Channel. It felt like a Disney Channel movie that was made for adults.
Okay.
Like, that's kind of how I thought it was marketed, like some shit that you would see on Hallmark in a sense. And I'm like, I'm not watching that. And I sat down and watched it. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm bugging. I missed out on this for the past 10 years. I really enjoyed the film.
That is very interesting. And now that you say that, I don't necessarily disagree. But ironically enough, I did see Belle in theaters.
That's interesting.
Yeah. You know, I'll be about my period pieces. But that is very interesting. That's almost a perfect description for it, because I don't think that it was marketed super well. And now pulling up the cover art, it does look, I don't want to say juvenile, but cheesy, versus where the movie is not. It tackles, serious issues.
It's a good ass movie. And I don't know.
Good ass movie.
And maybe so the film was originally supposed to be called Blackbird.
Okay.
But there were multiple movies that came out in 2014 titled Blackbird.
Right.
And they didn't want to get it confused, so they named it Beyond the Lights. And I think even that title didn't help it as far as the marketing for it. If it was called Blackbird, I would have been at least more interested to see what it's about. Beyond the Lights kind of tells me what it's about and tells me that it's about some fame and what goes beyond that. And like I said, it just didn't look like it was for me.
Yeah. I want to say, I would have to think of the timing of it, because around 2013, 14, Nate Parker's star was sort of on the rise. We're seeing him, he's coming off of Great Debaters and a couple of other things. I don't think that his Nat Turner film was out yet. I would have to look.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Okay. So this is even, I was thinking that maybe some of the promotion and whatnot was quelled because of Nate's issues that were sort of publicized. But I know that was around this, more so around the time of his Nat Turner movie versus this.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's funny you say that, Rachel. Because I want to ask you something.
Okay.
And I want to see if you can see this. I'm not going to say if you agree. I just want to know if you can see this. So when I watched this 3 times getting ready for this episode, which is the ultimate compliment, because 2 is normally my max.
Yeah.
3 times means I really like it. Exactly. So and 3 times means I really like this. So this last watch, for some reason, given the time, 2013, 2014, there was one person that I had in my mind that I said, oh, at this time, this would have been it just felt like it should have been in his filmography. And I was thinking about Michael B. Jordan.
I knew you were going to say that.
For some reason, and I'm not saying he should have had the role. I'm not saying anything was, I did enjoy Nate Parker in this role. But for some reason, I just felt like this was a movie. I've talked about Michael B. Jordan being a movie star. Right? He's just got a movie star. And if I mentioned Entourage earlier, kind of see these steps and these type of films that these movie stars take to get A-list. And Michael B. Jordan wasn't A-list in 2013. As a matter of fact, in 2014, when this film came out, he released the same year That Awkward Moment. Have you ever seen that?
I have. Was Zac Efron.
Zac Efron, Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, which I enjoy that film. It's like one of my guilty pleasures. Hate his character in that film. Not how he performed, but just how they did his character. His character just didn't
fit.
The black friend, yeah, it just didn't fit. But really enjoyable movie. One of those I can just put on and kind of enjoy. If you take him out of that movie and put him in this, and this is right before Creed and all that, it just works for some reason. I just see it.
I hear what you're saying, and I understand where you're pulling from. Not the only, and you know I have my thoughts on MBJ.
Yeah, we know.
Mary J. Blige. Um, I like that we don't really, really know Nate Parker. And I also think that even though Michael wasn't Michael B. Jordan, I mean, he was, but he
He was
wasn't.
on his way there. He was right there.
He was ascending. Um, sorry, Apple's being nosy. There is the anonymity of Nate Parker as this sheltered green cop, I think plays better into him versus Michael B. Jordan, especially when we get into the aesthetic, because I like Nate Parker is not ugly. That's not what I'm about to say. But he ain't no Michael B. Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I think that works for the character he plays. Like, he's still Nate Parker or Cass in this role is not super different than his role in Pride. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
Just I don't want to say
shout out to Pride.
Shout out to one of my favorite movies. I don't want to say the corniness or the green. Well, green is probably the better description of it, but just that and not the glamour of being just a traditionally beautifully fine ass nigga as this police officer who just wants to make a difference in the world. That fits his aesthetic versus a Michael B. Jordan. And that could be cast typing, this and the third, but because this face card, he's too glamorous. Even though he's not the big name that we know him to be, he's too beautiful for this police role. In this particular role, do I think that there is some work where he's a Denzel-esque, maybe not Alonzo type cop? Maybe, I'm not saying that, but for this role where you need a nigga who's also a little bit corny, little quirky, do-gooder, I don't really think that's Michael B. Jordan. I don't see that.
That's why you Ray P. That was very well said. And I agree. I get what you're saying as far as that. I get what you're saying as far as like Nate Parker just being that more of an unknown, and fitting this role in particular.
Yeah.
Because I can still see both, but yes, it does play out better with Nate. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect, right?
Yeah,
that's
right.
Perfect. That's why you Ray P. That's why you. That's why you the GOAT. That's why you the GOAT. But yeah, I don't know why that just I kept seeing it during this last watch, and I'm just like, damn.
I can see how you got early. 100%.
Yeah. It's just it was the timing of it. If this movie came out 2016, it was too late because he was already Creed and all that stuff. And this is still Friday Night Lights, Michael B. Jordan. This is Chronicle, Awkward Moment, Fruitvale Station. Like I said, right before he took that leap to A-lister. So, cool, man. Good combo.
Yeah, for sure.
So, got a couple questions for you.
Yes.
And I've talked about this before. Ironically enough, in Love and Basketball, another Gina Prince Bythewood movie. Has a nigga ever helped you find yourself, Rachel?
If you ask me, no. If you ask a nigga, yeah.
Shout out to the thorn in your side.
Shout out to the thorn in my side.
And I'm only asking because I don't know, man. We've done some of these romance films. It's just something about these women chasing these niggas, man, and getting these niggas back that I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just something about it. So Love Jones, we kind of talked, and I know you weren't even on the Love Jones episode. That's like our 5th episode that we have ever done. But we talked about Nina being in the rain
Mm-hmm.
while Darius is underneath the bridge and she's running to him and she's
Mm-hmm.
making sure her hair don't get wet and all that stuff. We talked about Monica. If it wasn't for Monica, that her and Q would have never ended up because the entire movie he was waiting on her to make those first moves.
Mm-hmm.
Really love
Mm-hmm.
Stevie, excuse me.
Yeah.
So the reason I even bring it up is because I feel like women help men find themselves a
Yeah.
lot more than maybe we're seeing in film. And we'll talk about it when we get to like the Mexico scene and how that whole thing ended. I'll go into a little bit more detail, but for some reason, and I can't pinpoint what it is, it kind of bothers me that the women are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And I'm not saying it's not a compromise. I'm not saying it shouldn't be 50-50 as far as like your commitment to being with each other and making something work.
Yeah.
But man, it seems glaringly, and shout out to K-Rob because you said it when you were on her episode. I don't want to chase anyone. I don't want to be chased.
For sure.
And it just feels like they're not meeting in the middle. It just feels like the women are initiating a lot. And it just made me wonder, like, damn, are niggas really just changing your lives? And now this story is a little bit different because of everything she went through on that balcony and where she was mentally. But in general, it was just an observation that I had.
Okay. To your point, if we get into the nitty-gritty of it, if we be transparent, which we translucent. I don't get y'all too much. But we try
to quote Ray P, not to get too anecdotal.
Exactly. There is a certain type of man that will change your life. And help you discover things about yourself. And that is not with the intent of, let me teach you how to be a woman. Let me show you the world, quote unquote. Shout out to Aladdin. But it will happen by the natural maturation of your relationship. It will naturally unfold the more you guys grow together and outgrow each other and come back and fit and get into spend more time in the uncomfortable or the discomfort of your relationship. That is where that happens. I do have thoughts that women do a lot of the heavy lifting. Because that is who we are. I do think that there is also a shift in the sassiness of men and a role reversal, dare I say, of wanting to be chased. I don't, for the sake of this movie, for real, at the end, obviously we'll get to it. There's a Come See About Me. I for sure thought that Cass coming to London was a Come See About Me, but I think he was afraid of Noni. I did, and this is when you talk about niggas that's trying to operate outside of their lane. You don't know what to do with this from the jump. So when you don't know what to do with it, and there is such an imbalance, one of power, physically and aesthetically, I have to do it. I have to come get you and bring you along if I want you, because you don't know what to do with this. Now, once you get here, there's an expectation, which I think that he was fitting into those holes, no pun, the way that he should. But in order for them to get there, she had to be the one to bring him along, because you can change my life by, yes, save my life, which is extremely sexy. But what, you gonna take me on a ride along? I got to bring you to where I am. I have to introduce you to my world, because we don't necessarily fit. I don't fit in your world at all, the way that you live. And it's just easier for me to bring you here. So I have to come get you. I have to show you the ropes because I want you with me.
That makes perfect sense. And it reminded me of the scene when he asked her straight up, like, why me? Like, you can
Yeah,
have anybody you want to. And I
period.
don't think I've ever looked at it from that. And that might be my extremely large ego that I wasn't even able to think about um, him adjusting to that life and that being a lot. And
Yeah.
we see it, we do and that goes, it ties in perfect to your point you just made about Nate Parker.
Mhm.
Being able to play that, I really believe that, yo, this is too much. I'm a laid back, almost to almost showing shades of what's my dog's name in the photograph? Why
Oh,
can't I think of his
um, Lakeith, but I can't think of his name.
no, not Michael Block, not Michael Block. I'm talking about
The daddy?
yes.
Christina was the mama. Oh God.
It's crazy because I was just thinking about this and I can't think about it. Hold on, it's bothering me, y'all.
Yep,
I
I
gotta
must
look
have
this
to
up.
pull my notes.
Yeah, because I can't believe that I can't think of the name. Because especially how much we love him. Isaac.
I
Tripping.
knew it was something biblical.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it reminded me of Isaac. If you remember that photograph conversation when I was making the point to you about could you be with someone who's just simple? Like I just
Mhm,
want this. I just want you and
mhm,
whatever else. And you
mhm.
made the comment about, if you build me a house on the lake and all that, like, yeah, we can do that. But just that real simple laid back, I don't want much. I don't want this fame that it comes with. And even on that Mexico scene, it really came out and his insecurities really came out. Um, Even if they didn't directly say it, like this is my issue.
Yeah,
Um, that was clearly an issue for him.
for sure. And Cass is low key an asshole. Like I have that written down in
You can take the low key out.
Cass. Okay.
You can take the low key out.
Okay.
It's that thing. It's that weird thing where your assholeness gets excused because you are a genuinely good person and
Mm-hmm.
you genuinely mean well. And you've not just said it, you've shown ways that you're just a gentleman and you
Yeah.
care. Obviously, saved your life. I
Yeah.
see you cold without you even saying, like, I see you're cold. Let me
Mm-hmm.
do something. Like Sterling K. Brown said when he was on Insecure, see something, do something.
Period.
Like I'm taking care of this because I see this.
Yeah.
And he showed those examples. However, that excused some of his dickheadedness that he showed throughout this film,
Mhm.
for
And
sure.
I we'll get into it, but I don't even know if she was clocking it the way that she should have been again because she's not had real relationship, real partner, probably real genuine interactions with niggas. Like,
How
no.
much is this? How much of it do you think was a trauma bond for her?
Mm, 45.
Yeah, I think so. Because not to jump on best scenes, we'll talk about it when we get there. We'll get there here in a second. But
Yeah.
the main thing for her, she needed to be seen. She
Hmm.
needed that. She wasn't seen, and she even said it at the end. Her last interview with Don Lemon, and when she was saying, like, parts of Noni, that old Noni, these images died. They did jump off that balcony,
Yeah.
and I had to figure out what parts of myself I wanted to save, and that
Hmm.
whole spiel. I get it, and that's part of the draw that I think, and the fact that he was just genuinely, when he came back and was just on some, yo, like, I just want to make sure you good. Like, I don't want nothing else. It is what it is. So the
Yeah.
fact that he saw her and she wasn't getting that anywhere else, yeah, 45 sounds about right.
Yeah. And
Um,
I'll tell you, as we transition into scenes, that I see you is gonna do it for me every time, especially when it's genuine. It's one of my favorite parts of Avatar. Say what you want about Avatar, the movie, not like the airbenders and stuff, but that whole I see you and that be something intrinsic, it means a lot, especially for somebody in such a superficial world. where
Mm-hmm.
everything is fake and nothing is real. So to see me and know that something is wrong, to see me and know that all of this bullshit, it isn't me, that there is something deeper. In fact, even if you said it just to get her off the ledge, it means a lot. And clearly it stuck with her throughout the movie. And I do think that it was genuine of him because, again, this ain't his world. All I do is deal with the real. So,
Yeah,
I know that there's something more.
I feel it. I feel that 100%. And yeah, yeah, we can get into scenes, but I loved your answer as far as just that heavy lifting question that I had. Because it really stuck to me because that's your foundation.
Mhm.
You know, that's kind of, if you start that way, that's kind of going to be the expectation. And then things get rocky. Shout out to Good Earners, man. Mo and Spike, we're talking about, we're on season 4 Sopranos right now, and there's things that Carmela is looking for in her marriage with Tony that they didn't start out with, and just how difficult it is from
Yeah.
Tony's perspective to not understand, yo, we've been doing it this way 18 years. Why all of a sudden? I need you to explain to me why this is changing. And that's just part of relationships. You grow, you get better.
Because it wasn't
So,
enough then, but I accepted it because I wanted you.
this is spot on. And yeah, spot on, spot on.
Yeah.
Let's get into scenes, Rachel.
Mhm.
So you go ahead and kick it off. It's your film. What
Yeah.
scene you want to start with?
Okay, so I've got the intro of Noni getting her hair done and singing Blackbird just because it kicks off the movie. I always love an intro scene. We see very early distressed white woman with this black child, um, tale as old as, I don't want to say time, but tale as old as public
Mm.
interracial children, and I don't want to say breeding, but procreation.
I
So
got a lot of I got a lot of things I could say, but I'm just, you got it.
yeah. So we see Jean has been left and she just has this daughter that she has no idea what to do with her hair. And we see uh again these children about with their hair looking crazy. And shout out to just black women stepping up, even on her birthday. Again, my birthday is a holiday. Do I love the kids that much? I don't know. But
You turning it into Michael Jordan in that salon.
for sure, for
Fuck
sure.
them kids.
You already know.
You
So
know what I'm
that
saying?
is then transitioning into the actual talent show for which Noni needed her hair emergently done. Just because a little 8-year-old singing Blackbird by Nina Simone is wild. Because even if we want to showcase her talent, that is such a mature song, and we learn the history of it throughout the movie, or why it is so meaningful to Noni and her mother later on in the movie. But it was just a really powerful scene and a true look that is not the fact that Noni didn't win and she was the most talented.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Hove
and her,
just talked about this.
I was swear to God, I was just about to say, shout out to Hove. Um, she belonged in the category.
Yeah, keep showing up, Noni.
And she keeps showing up. But I even though I hated her mother throughout,
Mm-hmm.
I liked that she was like, no, you don't have to accept this. This is
Got you.
bullshit. Even though she was too young to maybe throw her trophy away. Cause
Okay.
damn, mom, what the fuck? This is still good. But she didn't understand why she was second yet. You know what I'm saying? But I also respect in this time of participation trophies, I
So
appreciate throw that shit away. Fuck that. Go ahead.
so no, you just made, that was my issue mostly with that
Mhm,
whole scene.
mhm.
Before I even get into it, you're absolutely right. Love a good setup and intro scene. The
Yeah.
intro told me, it explained everything that I kind of needed to know without getting into too much detail. So
Mhm.
once we see Noni older, once I see her on that balcony, that opening scene let me know why. Like, I saw what type of mom she had.
Sure.
Um, that whole mother-daughter manager talent relationship. Um, and then the chucking up the trophy.
Mhm.
My issue was, I agree, Rachel. Not a fan of participation trophies,
Yeah.
but also as someone who's come in second place before, who's been a runner up before,
Mhm.
um, parents should allow grace, and of course, nothing better than advice coming from a non-parent. But I always feel I'm talking. I guess I'm talking about my experience as a son.
Mhm.
It's always good when parents let children experience things themselves for the first time. You're
Mm.
disappointed, you're hurt. How do you want to handle it? If you
Yeah.
want to throw it away, throw it away. If you want to look at it every single day to remind yourself, I'm never going to feel like that again,
Yeah.
and that's your motivation, then do that. Um, I'm not overly upset with it. I get it. I get the message she was trying to paint, but
Mhm.
also you can only do that when your kids reach a certain age. I think you
Yeah.
give them the option to kind of know that there are other things. There are other ways I can express this emotion
For
than
sure.
this one way. So that's the main thing I was going to say about that scene. Um, for me, going into the Noni hotel balcony scene. So we see
Same.
her
Mhm.
fast forward as a star. She really sang her songs this entire film.
Yeah.
Um, Google did. So I mean,
Mm.
incredible performer. Yeah, that was her singing.
Okay.
Um, shit, she dangled off the balcony. She didn't have a stunt double. Like she's just incredibly talented.
Oh, wow.
I'm yeah, I can't say enough about her. But like I said, Noni needs to be seen. And this is how the PR game works. This is how Hollywood works. This is how all that this is why TMZ exists for
Yeah.
stuff like this. What's the story behind the story? That tabloid said, I'll give you 50,000 up until the truth comes out, and the truth always comes out.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. And
As it is.
it was Nate's naivete, thinking I'm this good old boy cop,
Mhm.
and I saved this woman. It's supposed to go this way, but it went the other way. And not
Yeah.
only that, my dad, who was a police chief, my hero, the
Mhm.
guy I've heard stories about all the bad guys you've locked up, you in on it. And you
Yeah.
telling me this is what you need to do. Matter of fact, here's 10,000,
Mhm.
which is obviously shouldn't be taking that as a cop.
Yeah.
But this is the game, and this is how it's played. You're gonna stand up there on that stage,
Mhm.
you're gonna say she was drunk, and this is how we're gonna keep it moving. And
Mhm.
just Kaz not knowing about that world and really wanted to do things the straight and narrow. I just thought
Yeah.
that was a very incredible scene, and obviously going into the, what do you see? Nothing. He
Crazy.
was hurt. He was salty, which was
Fuck.
wild to say to a woman after a suicide attempt. Like, my nigga, show a little bit more grace.
On. I had a
You know what I mean?
conversation the other day with a little friend, and we were talking about nice guys, and I hate nice guys because it's fake. And this was a reminder of that to me. That initial, I'm being nice to you because I have a desired outcome. And
Mm-hmm.
because he was a cop, like it was no different than when he said, what do you see? He said nothing. It was no different than a nigga being like, fuck you, bitch, because I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
there's a. I'm not going to tell that story. I'll talk to you after we finish, Rachel, because you're
Okay.
familiar with
Okay.
it. But there's something similar that I know exactly what you mean, and you really have to look at yourself in the mirror and hold yourself accountable about what, if you meant what you said you meant.
That
If
part.
things are unconditional or conditional, because people say I love you unconditionally, but when it's time to clock in,
Mm-hmm.
that's not true. There are some conditions wrapped around this motherfucker,
For
and I'm
sure.
not talking about the everyday standard. Like, hey, I'm not gonna sit here and be abused and all that conditions. I just mean, if you don't act this way, if you don't do a certain thing, then
Mhm.
maybe my love for you goes a different way. I'm gonna say to your quote, Rachel, "Fuck you, bitch,"
Yeah.
or whatever. So I get what you're saying. I'll talk to you about that afterwards. But um, what you wearing? Also, when she's in that bed, that nigga Kid Coper said, "What you wearing?" After he said, "You alright," is nasty. So a lot of nasty work when it comes to
For
not
sure.
recognizing that this woman just tried to unalive herself.
Yeah. Yeah. Trigger
Um,
warning. Yeah.
Trigger warning. Yes, please, trigger warning. Rachel, what's your next scene?
Um, we fast forward a little bit, but I go to Cass taking Noni to watch planes at the airport because car combos are top tier. I did not consider this a pre-date in the Twitter logic component, but there is nothing like sitting in the car and just having a good ass conversation. Maybe we don't need to be eating fried chicken and macaroni and cheese because the car is going to smell crazy. But
Cornbread. We got some
but
cornbread.
I'm not with you. But
That
it
shit should.
even reminded me of ATL when Rashad and Nunu are sitting in the car with At Your Best playing in the background. Like, there is just something about that enclosed space, heightened intimacy, and Noni rightfully being triggered because even though Cass has, I mean, he's shown he's an asshole with that. I don't see with I see nothing, but she shows how much people want from her. So the fact that we're sitting here having just a nice conversation, you've saved me again from the paparazzi and this, that, and the third, and from my mother. And the minute Cass pulls out the card of the TMZ worker, she immediately flips. Like, her guard that she was slowly letting down immediately snaps into place. And she overreacts, but understandably so. Because again, you don't know this nigga. He didn't tear up the $10,000 check. I don't know if he cashed it or not, but he didn't tear it up when he was given that to keep quiet about the initial incident. So now here's that. And then here you are with this. So I don't know if you're about to you've gotten me away from my mother so that you could blackball me over here. Or blackmail me. I don't know. Again, I don't know this nigga from Adam. But I like that she backed off it once they got to the house. However, it just shows how much of a vulnerable state she really was in.
Yeah, that's a great pull, Rachel. Like you said, understandably so. I understand why that's her, defense mechanism. My scene is just right before that, just leading up to that. Which was Kaz. Remember, Kaz was at this I don't know if it was fundraising, whatever it was, political event. And he was at the bar, ordered his Guinness. The story comes on with Don Lemon. He hears everybody at the bar laughing when they kind of see that story. And that made him like, you know what? Let me go check on her. Once again, that good behavior that excuses that asshole nature. Like, genuinely, man, y'all don't even, there was something that happened on that balcony. And even after it happened, remember, he's like, I want to talk to her. Like, her mom's blocking it. He was talking to his dad, but I'm just going to take matters in my own hands. Jesse being smart enough, because it really upset me if Jesse would have let him in that room.
Right.
And I love the fact that the movie, it did two things. It kept it real, which, like, bruh, like, you my partner, you my dog, I appreciate you, but absolutely not. But also showed how cool Jesse was. Yeah. I'm not going to let you win because I'm not going to lose my job and my extra money. I got a family too, my dude. But I definitely will tell her, like, yo, Kaz here to see you. He downstairs waiting on you. Right. So I'm giving you the oop. Bro. You can't come in, but I got you. Like, trust me. Go downstairs, wait. I'm going to tell her to come holler at you. And he just wanted to apologize. And I think that was refreshing, going to your point about her wall being up. The fact that I just wanted to come here and say, I'm sorry for how I treated you. You didn't deserve that. And I wanted to make sure you were good.
Yeah.
I don't want no money. I don't want these paparazzi. I'm not trying to milk this 15 minutes of fame. That's all I wanted. Real simple. And she saw that and was like, you know what? Let's bounce. So I just thought that was dope. I just thought that was real dope. Also, just real quick, this has happened before this, but the meeting with Liam, the first time we meet Liam, just because Liam's an asshole.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many lines in the film I've heard that are more disgusting than we're selling fantasy here and suicide ain't sexy.
That's one of my quotes. Crazy.
If I was her dad in that meeting,
he was gone.
Like, what are you talking about? My daughter, like, all right,
but
anyway.
But to your point, that's why I can talk crazy to you and your mama. Ain't no man here on your behalf. There's nobody, and it's already clear your mother will let anything fly.
Yeah,
Your
because
mother
there's no way.
talk to you.
Yeah, Rachel, because there's no way I would. They said they were waiting 40 minutes. No, what are you talking about?
Period.
Ultimate disrespect. Stop
Period.
playing in my face. Like, you
Yeah.
40 minutes late, and it's supposed to be a strategy meeting, and nobody's here. Like, oh, y'all playing. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not playing with that. But anyway, what's your next scene, Rachel?
Cass being uncomfortable with the photo shoot. So leading up to that, again, Noni is doing the heavy lifting. She pulls him from work, which was crazy. Because how did you know?
No. That wasn't. Hold on. Are you talking about the work scene, or are you talking about when he was at home and the security knocked on his door like, you the Boy Scout?
Okay,
Which
yeah.
Okay, then got you. So that's before work. The work was the DV scene, which we'll talk about because that was insane.
Yeah. You're right. So, all of that with him, Cass eventually now spending the day with her, and just seeing him again be mindful of her because again, what women want, safety, protection. He's mindful of her. So we've done all these things throughout the day. And now we're at this photo shoot. And again, I just said it. Your mother has no boundary. Nothing is too far. And she says it at the end of the movie. Nothing is too much. And she just looked crazy as fuck. And seeing Kaz's ears sort of perk and his eyes perk. So he knows now, like, I have to step for you. I'm the only person who really has your best interest in mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, all of that.
Yeah, no. So here, all right. So I looked at this scene. Great scene. I had this down as well, but I got a different perspective from it because there's nothing. It's almost like you said in the car when they were in the car in that intimate space and those intimate moments.
Yeah.
This is another one of those intimate things.
For sure.
Being with someone and just being in their element. Just she pulled up on, I need protecting. And he's with her at, the fitting and the photo shoot and the rehearsal. And there's just something about being with, and they weren't partners at the time, but being with your person, just getting able to just sit down and watch them or observe them being themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at this from a relationship perspective. I just want to know more about you. I know I've already mentioned Mo a couple times, but on his podcast, Another Week in the Books, this past episode, he was talking about how him and his wife are like locked in. They've been together so long. He got married young, or they got married young. And he made a comment about one of his wife's friends and asking her, like, why I see that y'all cool. Like, why didn't that work out? And with Spike was, of course, on some like, yo, that's a crazy question to ask your wife. Like, that's a bold question. And Mo was like, look, man, we so locked in and tight. Like, I enjoy getting to know her as a person.
Yeah.
Not as my wife, not as my girl, or whatever the case is. But just, I want to know about you. We talk about the same with parents, like just getting to know your parents as people. And I just think that's cool to be able to be in a space where I'm getting to learn about you outside of me. And I think that's really dope and real intimate. Go ahead.
I love that. And as soon as you started talking, it immediately reminded me of If Beale Street Could Talk, where damn, now I can't think of nobody's name today, but where homegirl is like, I've never experienced Fonnie in his world. Tish, I've never experienced Fonnie in his world. He's always been in mine. And there is just something about that. And we think about now or in real life where just your nigga being like, you want to ride to the store? Yep. I want to see how you navigate the world. I want to see who they see, what they see. I know who you are with me. I know what we have, but I'm very curious of who this other person is because it is somebody else. And I want to know them. I want to see that shit.
I thought it was incredible. And I know for me, speaking personally, that's one of my biggest ways I can show someone how much they care about it, how much I love them, is inviting them into that space that a lot of people don't get into. And like you said, just saying me, this is what I do. I'm doing this without you. With or without you, I'm doing this. So I'm going to let you take a peek on what happens when you're not here. So
Exactly.
that's just loving. That's very intimate and loving to me, and I wanted to shout that out.
For sure.
Same
For
scene,
sure.
just different scenarios. What
And
is your next scene?
I'm
Go ahead. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Before they went to the children's hospital before that, right? That is a
No,
part
that
of
was
that.
all in the same
That's all in
montage.
the montage. Yeah,
So
that's
that's
what
why I
I thought.
said like that's what made it dope because it wasn't like I bring your bring your spouse to work day or bring your partner to work day.
Right.
I get to see what because and if you think about it from Cass's perspective, you're a pop star. Like you on TVs, like you on
Mhm.
Vibe magazines and all that. I had no idea that you go to hospitals on your own time to
Yeah.
put smiles on kids' faces and all this other stuff. So yeah,
Now, was it her own time or was this a
was
part
it the
of
label? I tried to give her a pass, right? You ain't letting nobody slide.
well, I'm not only because in my little random tidbits, going to the hospital when coochie cutters and a feather belly shirt is crazy.
Yeah, good point.
Usually there is a hospital outfit. Like we can bring you a change of clothes to the set. Like
He said a
we ain't
hospital
got no fucking
outfit.
jeans.
Oh shit. I feel you on that.
You're going to
I feel
see
you on
little
that.
Timmy and some bullshit. But
Hey man, that might be part of little Timmy's make a wish. Shit. Tell Noni to wear that cut I like. You know what I mean?
I'm not. I'm absolutely not about to deal with you. My next scene is Noni taking Kaz on the plane, just because again, shout out to Beyonce,
So
who did
so I
it.
had to introduce her to the Mile High Club.
Period. And I didn't get it. I know she said, I want to be your first. Was that only in reference to the plane or to first? Like
That was in reference to the plane.
every time I watch this movie, I'm like, I don't know if I missed it. I know he's never flown, but are you also taking his virginity? Like, what is happening?
I didn't get virginity, because it was never stated. Part of me just given his character wouldn't have shocked me. I
And gives
strongly don't
virginity.
I 100% don't believe that was the case, but it wouldn't shock me. It's definitely within his character traits. But I always took it as I want to be your first as far as his playing goes. Because, and here's what the movie did that kind of helped us in our mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have sex until that moment, as far as we know.
Right.
They've
Right.
kissed and they shared some moments, but they've
Mm-hmm.
never had sex. Where we
Correct.
clearly know right now, you riding this nigga.
Correct.
So that line mixed with all of the stuff we just mentioned does make you question, like, what you mean by that? Did you mean you want to be his first plane ride? Did you want to be his first Mile High Club? Did you want to
Right.
be his
Because
first?
I would think if this is not your first go round, in my mind, even though I know this is your first plane ride, I would say, I want this to be your first. I want to share this experience, your first experience with this. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
want this to be something for us, but I want to be your first.
Yeah. It was very specific.
It was very
Um,
specific. No,
I
I just
will
want that swaggy. Go ahead.
I will say this. From the male's perspective, what a
Mhm.
flex.
Exactly.
What a flex for first of all, hold on, before we even get there. If you remember, he wasn't fucking with her. So don't come to my job unannounced
Yeah.
on some, you know, I want to see you and all this, that, and the third. Like, there's proper protocol to this. Don't just pop up in my shit. But
That's what
the
she
point was
wanted.
made. He got on that plane. I love the trust factor. Like, yo, trust me. Him
Mhm.
going along with it. Him being,
Yeah.
because it's very easy to be like, hell nah. Like, I'm not wearing no blindfold. I don't even really know you like that. And like I said, 10 minutes ago, I wasn't fucking with you.
Right.
So for me to just randomly be on this blindfold shit is a little bit different. But man, with a flex, that drunken love in the background,
Come on.
just
Come
come
on.
on, man. It was just perfect, like absolutely perfect for everything that was going on. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I was jealous. I was a little bit jealous, man.
Me
That was,
too.
yeah,
I
man. And I was gonna say, because flying, I'm not scared of flying, but I can imagine, if I was and that happened, I'd be
yeah.
freaked out. So she knew she had to throw them cheeks in there.
Right.
That's the only way I'm gonna be able to get this nigga to kind of calm down. So she knew she had to throw them cheeks in there. So he gave it a pass for that. But that nigga said, "I think I love you."
That's another reason I feel like this is his first time. He ain't had
I don't listen.
to the pussy.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this. That scares me, Rachel. Okay.
Okay.
It's one thing to think it. Okay.
Mhm.
It's one thing to think it to yourself like, damn, like shit's so
Yeah.
good. Got me want to say I love you. But if it's got to the point where you can't help yourself and you let that shit blurt out, it's like Harlem Nights. When that nigga Red Fox character, when he said like or excuse me, Della Reese, when she said I got a girl so good, you could throw it in the air and turns into sunshine. And Red Fox was like, I want some of that. And Richard Pryor, Sugar Ray was like, I don't. I feel Sugar Ray. I don't. Because I know that type of shit right there is going to be like, hey, put your mama on the phone. Hey, I'm leaving you. I ain't never coming back home. I don't want no parts of that shit. If I'm out here saying I love you because I just put the tip in, you dangerous. You dangerous. Listen, I'm a bad boy. But nah, man, I'm cool. I don't want no parts of that. Hey, I hate fucking with you, Rachel.
Shout out to y'all. Yeah, that's crazy. That's very
man.
crazy. And niggas who do that are not to be trusted.
Damn, Rachel, now you got me thinking like that might be because that's first time behavior.
Exactly. And they ain't had no condom. She just put it in. So this is your first experience.
Damn. Is this my juice moment when we found out that his dad was a jailhouse hoe?
Maybe.
Now I'm looking at this whole character differently.
It's getting virginal.
Now that you say that, his actions make sense.
Yeah.
If that's the case, his actions make sense as to why he was on that. Like the rest of the movie and why he felt shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep it going.
Okay.
Sorry, my next scene. BET Awards.
Yeah, that's my next scene too.
So Rachel, I gotta ask you.
Yes.
And I really need your opinion on this. I struggle with the proper protocol when it comes to this.
White.
What's that?
Go ahead.
And what I mean by that is kind of reminded me of Creed, the original.
Okay.
When Creed got in the fight backstage at Bianca's show, where on one hand, well, that's not necessarily the best example because Creed's issue was about himself. It was him being called something.
Yeah.
And this one, Kaz was really defending his girl, right? Over some very overt, because actions do it more than words for me.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me whatever. You can say like you getting my sloppy seconds and shit all day. Like that, I don't believe you. Like, you know what I mean? You got to prove it to me. So when you start proving it, that's when I say, oh, you playing in my face. Like now you playing in my face, and I don't know if I can let this slide. And give it up to Kaz for actually showing some restraint because he said a few slick things while he was walking her off stage. And it wasn't until he said his last comment that he turned around and swung on him. But the only reason it's a dilemma is because this is her life. This is her career. This is her livelihood. What's more important to you, Rachel? Is it having your honor defended, or is it, like, let me take care of this shit backstage? Because I would have handled it that way. We talked about that with the Will Smith shit. Like, bro, like, when I see you off stage, I promise on everything, I'm whooping the dog shit out of you.
And I still feel the same. Motherfucker, my nigga gonna slide, okay?
Yeah.
My expectation is always, oh my God. And shout out to the Thorn, because he always says that the expectation is for your nigga, for your man to be prepared to die about you. And that's just period. That's why I can't be fucking with y'all niggas, because y'all ain't showing that y'all ready to die.
That's wild.
Yeah, but I mean that, because anything could happen. Anything could happen. Here's where I'm a differ in opinion from you. First off, letting a white man at the BET Awards, a white rapper, disrespect a black woman is crazy. Like
insane.
insane. And I liked, you can be a white rapper, whatever. We've had Eminem, we've had Machine Gun Kelly, you know, even though he's transitioned into rock. But
you know more than me.
shout out to Cleveland. But that in and of itself, so for those who haven't seen it, again, spoilers, but when you watch it, they had recently broken up, like in the trailer before the show. Maybe give or take 2 days, a day, you know. So now this is his ego. He played cool, and he probably was cool with the fact that she quit him to a degree. Because even though they were together, the explanation of their relationship is that they fucked and then had some text messages. It wasn't even that deep for all of this. So you have that. And so, okay, now I've been dumped. And now, not only did you dump me, but you're bringing your nigga around in front of me. And so now I have to answer for paparazzi asking, oh, was Noni cheating on you? This, that, and the third. So now my ego is in it. So here we are at the BET Awards. Shout out to BET. And bitch, I'll show you. I liked that the crowd, once they started peeping, like, yo, what the fuck? I don't think this is a part of the choreography for this performance. Once they started seeing that, I liked that they were turning. But for real, to your point, Cass showed great restraint, because if this man pushes me back down on the bed when you see I'm trying to get up and you're constantly trying to unbutton my coat, which I am purposely keeping closed, my nigga gonna slide. Like, period. Do not fucking disrespect me. So you've done all of this on stage. I'm dancing and grooving, trying to put on a performance, and you trying to hold my head down at your meat? Are you fucking kidding me? The fact that I might have an attitude that my nigga ain't come out sooner. Get this nigga, because I'm going to ruin the show.
I would have used my service pistol.
Period.
Use my service pistol on that nigga. pushing my girl head down on your shit, bro. Come on, man. Stop fucking playing with me.
Respect and
stop playing with me. Yeah.
At the BET Awards? Are you fucking
stop playing with
crazy? Me. The fact that Cass was the only nigga to come from backstage is crazy to me, because anybody that knows me, and I am friends with a particular type of nigga, when I say that niggas better slide,
niggas the war show would have been over. Listen, let me tell you this, Rachel. That shit happened to you.
Mike.
Just from this my dog perspective, you know what I'm saying? Right. We everybody knows how tight me and Rachel are. If I was there and that shit happened to you, I would solely be responsible for the reason why the BET Awards will be on a permanent tape delay for years and years to come.
Exactly.
Ain't no coming back from break. Like this whole shit shut down.
Exactly.
Because you're not about to play in nobody's face like that. And I couldn't imagine if that was my girl, bro. Especially in front of me. And you know what you're doing.
Just took my virginity?
Because you know what you're doing. So for the record, he getting slid on. I just didn't know if it was proper protocol to slide in the back or slide on stage. I would have slid on stage just because you're doing too much. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to. I would hate for it to be, and you answered the question already. I would hate to slide and then fuck up her bag or fuck up whatever she had going on because of my actions and her having issue with me. And that's where the Creed tie-in comes in. When, you know, Bianca was on some like, yo, how would you feel if I came to your fight and just acted an ass?
But Bianca,
different circumstances.
That's the thing.
Different. I was just about to say different circumstances.
We would just have to be okay. Like, you would just have to be mad at me, because as somebody that cares about you, and I think I love you, I don't want to see you be disrespected, especially by no white man, especially not by no white man rapper, especially by no white man rapper at the BET Awards in front of millions of people,
Yeah,
live
that's some wild
and
shit.
virtually. Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, that's wild.
The fact
And you know
that
what?
you even felt okay to do that. We just chopped it up in the trailer, like we cool. So your ego, because my nigga is here, got you tripping on me like this? Are you crazy? I could even take, you might do a little something, we got to quell the rumors. We cool. But the physical nature, the sexual, like this is like you're assaulting me
No, it's not low key. That is 100% assault.
because I broke up with you and we get in the male ego and toxic masculinity. Like this is that. And
I think one of my biggest issues as well is anytime people aren't honest with their feelings.
mm-hmm,
Because my nigga, you just told me that you're not gonna shed a tear.
mm-hmm,
Like it ain't
mm-hmm.
that deep to you. So all right, cool. You gave me the little, use the press, don't let the press use you thing. It felt like we was good. So where's all this coming from?
And
Even if you
he
gotta take your little shot, go ahead.
I'm not to cut you off. He probably did feel that way. Yeah, a little sting, a little salty in the interim. But
Mm-hmm.
remember, let's call back that scene. When Noni walks up to the trailer, his niggas, they are not receptive to her. So already in the midst of this, all the rumors and tabloids of Noni's relationship with Cass are already swirling around. So they're not treating her like his girl, quote unquote, or the bitch that he fucking with. They kind of ducking side eye, not answering her question, like, is he in here or not? Like they're being evasive towards her, like a bitch that he don't really fuck with. Because again, I've already hit your ego. So here in the moment, you might be like, I'm a little salty, but whatever, good luck. But now you got this nigga in my face and I'm not mature enough, I'm going to react. Now, is this the way to do it? No, get your motherfucking hands off me. Like, even before, I don't have good self-control. Like, I could better control my face. So, so even the fact that it had gone so far before Cass came out, I think was commendable to him because I would have been swinging on that nigga. Like, I don't know. I think something in me would have just snapped like that, fight or flight. I don't have in that scenario that kind of decorum. I think she was trying to save the performance, protect her image, this, that, and the third. But for real, you're not about to fucking play with me. I will
Shut up.
chitty chitty bang bang.
Shut up. For some reason, that just reminded me of Vanessa Bell Calloway. What's love got to do with it? You ain't got to hit me but
Like
once.
hit people once.
Like I'm not here for none of that shit, bro. I'm not here. I'm not doing it.
That's it.
Yeah. Listen, we can go to the next scene, but I'm just telling you, I'm asking, if I'm Cass, I'm asking Noni for the jet. Like I'm looking at this nigga's tour schedule. Where this nigga performing tonight? Every time I see you, you catching these hands, bro.
And
every single time. Every single
time.
And I'm the police. Nigga, I know somebody in every city.
Yeah.
Nigga,
yeah.
Every time I see you, nigga.
Wow.
That's how it's gonna be. Every time we meet. But anyway, what's your next scene?
Mexico. Just the whole escape. Leading into that post BET Awards, them getting to Mexico, her just sleeping because again, that road life is hard. And
Straight
then
up.
where you don't have the opportunity to be yourself, you've just been assaulted on national TV by your ex, quote unquote, boyfriend, a white man at that. Never gonna let that go.
I'm just weak because you are not letting that shit go.
Cannot let it go. I cannot let it go. As long as I'm black, I'll never let it go. Shout out to my mama because that's her phrase. As long as you black. But blah 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 blah. Just Noni, this is the first time we've seen her really just be at peace. She sleeps for 2 days. This nigga he ain't got no money.
That nigga went home. That nigga went home, opened his Bible or some book, and grabbed some money out of there. My nigga going through it.
And you done slept through 3 meals. You better eat these enchiladas.
Straight up. Because we ain't got no microwave, but you got to eat this at room temp. The sour cream might be spoiled. Man, take that off. Yeah, man, we ain't doing that. This was lunch, this was dinner, this is breakfast. Like, damn, but I feel you. I need that rest. Like, it's
ranchos, rancheros, huevos, rancheros. That's what the fuck to be eating. So I just like that. The only thing that was crazy to me about Mexico was Cass getting booed during karaoke, because karaoke typically most people can't sing.
That's the point of it.
Yeah.
Yes. So Rachel, that's in my notes.
Yeah.
Getting booed at karaoke is wild.
Crazy.
Because karaoke is meant for that. It's actually when you get someone who can sing, that's one of those pleasant treats. Like, oh, we got somebody who can actually sing. But I'm coming to karaoke expecting that these niggas gonna suck.
Exactly.
So hearing him get booed was insane. But I agree everything, just to escape to Mexico, because as she said it, I needed to hit the pause button on my life.
For sure.
Now, sometimes you just need to relax. You need to catch up on sleep. You need to stay in bed all day. You need to, fuck. You need to eat. Be on the beach. Take your hair down. Wipe your makeup off. Be yourself. Don't have to be anybody. You don't have to be Noni Jean, the pop star. Just be who you are with me. And just obviously we physically see the transformation. We see her look like a completely different person because the glam is gone, but then the real beauty shows.
Exactly.
And even the small, once again, intimate moments. There's a lot of beautiful intimate moments in this film.
Mary Bad.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. Her trading in those. No. You good. I love when we listen.
Yeah. We see
the same page. Look at her. Professional. Her trading those earrings for that merit badge and just explaining what it means and how they have to be earned. Even the can you take a picture scene. I love that. She's so ready to, all right, somebody recognize me. Nah, nigga, take a picture of us. I don't know who you are. Yeah, and that just had to be a liberating feeling for her. Like, yo, I can be myself. I can move. Because we got to, obviously, the adoration of celebrities is like off the chain. I don't know if I could ever be famous, especially that famous.
Yeah.
To where you can't even move how you want to move. You can't go to restaurants, walk in the park because people want some other shit. But yeah, New Edition. Shout out to New Edition.
For sure.
The whole Mexico thing was dope. And that leads me to my scene, which is the end of Mexico. When she does her beautiful performance. And obviously I knew it when I was watching. I said, somebody gonna be recording this shit.
Of course.
And of course, mom's beating down the door, paparazzi beating down the door. And she tells Cass that I needed a pause button. And Cass started acting bitch made. Because my nigga, what did you really think? Did you really think y'all was just about to retire to Mexico and you never had to go back to any responsibilities? Like, I'm confused. If I'm Cass's friend and I talk to him every day, I would have been like, yo, how did you expect this to turn out?
You already ain't got no money.
Yeah, and him just, it's not the fact that you're upset. Feel how you need to feel. I'm never here to invalidate anybody's feeling, but you should also talk about it. You go straight into the accusations. You go straight into, don't tell me what I'm going to do and not do with my life. Don't tell me I give it about a week. You know what I mean? You'll be back in weave, face down, ass up.
Crazy.
And I love the fact, insane behavior, like really nasty behavior. But I love how she told him what he needed to hear. Nigga, stop trying to save everybody.
Yeah.
Kaz is no different in a sense from her mom, where I feel that I know your life better than you and I know what you need.
You need more than you.
Which is even more wild because your dad does it to you. So you should be more relatable to the fact that this ain't cool. I'm just here to support you. I'm here to be here for you. I'm just concerned that we've had such a beautiful time. I don't want you to go back to that stress or go back to the life that caused you to even need a getaway to Mexico to begin with. That's all. I'm just worried about you, baby. Just worried about you. That's all.
That's it.
You ain't got to do all that sucker shit because that's and the lamest shit, the inexcusable, he don't even deserve her back. he threw that merit badge in the ocean. Rachel, I got love letters from 6th grade still. You feel me? I got love letters from 6th grade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I still got wallet size photos of shorties. You know what I mean? That gave me certain shit. To throw a merit badge that you saw her trade in her jewelry in to give to you, that means something, my nigga.
Yeah.
Like that means something. That's one of those, just in case we get back together, let me keep this in the back.
Let me keep this. I have a key that I got from a nigga 2002, maybe. Oh, some key to my heart type shit. I don't know where it's at now, but it might be in the trash now. But a few years ago, it was not in the trash. Things that
meant something.
Keepsakes. You just broke up with this bitch. You just was in love with her. You just lost her virginity to her. And you're this mad. And we're talking about ego. We talking about kid culprits ego. But this is your ego. And you being mad childish. Because even though we have this beautiful come see about me at the end, where your birth of that? You don't got it.
That could change shit real quick.
Reunion ruined.
It's over.
That I went back to life because again, what did you expect? Not you took your ball.
Took his ball and left. Like he acted like he walked into that room in Mexico and she was just getting drilled by a nigga, like or something like that. Like she was just doing the most wild, beyond imagination shit, and she just had to get back to her life. Like I worked my entire life for this. Like I actually, besides minus the bullshit, I like this. I enjoy it.
Right.
Matter of fact, being with you, being in my natural element, singing songs that I want to sing, helped me realize how much I enjoy it and I want to do it my way. Don't you see you're a part of this?
That part.
You helped bring this out of me.
That part.
Like I love and appreciate you for that.
He can't see
it. But you want, like you said, I'm taking my ball or I'm going home. That scary shit that you mentioned earlier. Like I don't know what to do with her.
And that faux nice guy, when I'm behaving outside of the way that you think I should be, the way you want me to, this don't look how you think it should. So now you're gonna mistreat me. Now you're disrespecting me. You may not be shoving my head to your genitalia, but you should know me. You basically calling me a hoe, an attention whore, this, that, and third. But like, Nick, I thought you loved me. You want to take care of me? This is how you do it? Are you crazy?
Yeah. Telltale sign. Like she would have had every right to say, you know what, you showed me who you are. Because it's never the good moments. It's always those bad moments. Like that's who the motherfucker is.
We talked about the discomfort at the top of the show. The ugliness when it ain't looking how you think it should, how you want it to.
If you can't handle that, then it's long road ahead. That's for sure. That's for sure. What's your next scene, Rachel?
My last scene is just because I have come see about me, but really Noni firing her mother just because her mother was trashed the whole movie. And just Noni genuinely having that realization and that come to Jesus moment and just saying, you know what? It was never enough. You're like, when were you learning there? Her mama smacking her because what?
Hey, listen, Gina Prince Bythewood loves a good mama-daughter slap, don't she?
Good mama slap.
Loving basketball, we got one. Yeah, she loves it.
I'm cursing their mothers in Spain. But just that whole scene, because again, Jean knows how to play the game, and that is what she's done Noni's whole life. Be it a defense mechanism, be it for their own protection or her own retribution. Like, look what I did. I did this. It wasn't always right, but I understand how she got there, and I'm definitely not apologizing for this during Black History Month, but I understand. And that again comes with when you see your parents as people and adults versus your parent. It just, I see it was fucked up, but I see how you got there. It ain't okay, but I see how you got
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's one of my last scenes as well. Mainly
Mhm.
because, well, the scene right before that, Liam's firing, and the
Yeah.
way that that Mama Jean used that leverage, and we saw as a
Mhm.
viewer, like, oh shit, she's finally come around. She's seen,
Yeah.
she went to Mexico to go get her daughter. Now she sees, all right, well, let's try things her way. We're not putting this album out, and then we realized it was just a play. It really led into that scene even
That's
more.
good. Mhm.
And I love the moment when she said, when did you ever tell me that none of this was enough? Nigga, when I was
Mhm.
on that balcony.
Crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just that realization. We talked about the smack, and there's Noni just being aware enough to know, like, you know what? You do work for me, nigga. You fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, mom or not, like, nah, I'm not doing this. So I want to take control of my career. So that was really dope.
Mhm.
The only other scene that I really had, and like I said, there's other things was we talk about come see about me and stuff, is
Mhm.
the confession when she went on Dom Lemon and
Yeah.
pretty much said I needed to see what was worth saving, and that just if anybody's heard me speak about anything, you know how much I love authenticity,
Mhm.
and just being able to control your own narrative, not because it's a narrative, but because it's the truth. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want anybody to ever use my truth against me. Like, nigga, it's mine, because then you look like you hiding. And nah, nigga, this is what happened. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I tried to fight it because it's embarrassing or whatever the case is, but
Mhm.
this is a message. This is a testimony of somebody else out there who's going through it. That, look, it is okay to do an inventory of your life and do an audit of your life and realize, there's things in it that I need to get rid of, and there's things about myself that I really want to nurture and
For
grow.
sure.
And it's okay to admit that I messed up. I'm not human. Um,
Mhm.
I am human,
Yeah.
and I'm not perfect, and that's
For sure.
perfectly fine. And I respect anybody who's able to take their
Mhm.
uncomfortable truth, and live in it, and not let anyone else weaponize it against them. I just think
For
there's something
sure.
special about that.
For
So,
sure.
um, obviously, the ending is to come see about me. If you want to talk about it now, we can. We can just go straight into the come see
Yeah.
about me category.
We see Cass. I was calling Nate. We see Cass take his second flight ever.
Mm-hmm. That
um,
was it. It
a
wasn't the fact that he saw her; it's the fact that we know he's scared of flying.
and he did it by himself.
Yeah.
So it was just that. And again, we just were on his head for being an asshole, which he still is. But you take the steps. I'm doing my best. I'm gonna try. And he was in LA. You flew 16 hours
Mm-hmm.
with a gunshot wound. Which I don't think you can do that. But regardless, he did it. Like, bitch, I'm
Did
showing
he
up.
get shot?
He got grazed. Didn't
That
he?
was
In the leg? I know they
some.
wrapped up his hand, but I thought there was like a graze on his leg. Maybe, maybe
I
not.
I thought the hand was from the punches when he was beating
From
that
the
nigga face
punches,
in.
right.
That nigga deserved everything. That close range and you can't hit that nigga. That's some Pulp Fiction, divine intervention type shit.
Yeah,
That shit was wild.
for sure. But just the fact that he did that, I'm gonna step for you. And because the long movie ended, we don't see her ask where his damn merit badge is. But again, just the fact that he did that, you showed up for me. And we ain't really fucking with each other. He told her in their, dare I say, breakup, when she says, what we had, it was perfect. It started off on a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So it could never be perfect. That's the bar.
It's a
Um,
bar.
and so true, because as for as much as I will say that he's an asshole or an insecure, a faux nice guy versus just a good man, because that's the difference. There is a difference. That matters. And
Mm-hmm.
we talk about how you start is how you finish. Not all the time, but rules versus exceptions. And I think with him coming to London for her show, where she gets to be herself and not Noni the pop star, she gets to be Noni and culottes in this jumper versus a coochie cutter in a fur belly shirt. This is a chance for us to start over. This is a
Fair.
chance for us to reshape how we want our relationship to look, because our relationship is salvageable, but it has to start from here, not from who we were, how we started before.
Love to let it go when it came back. That's how strong it
That's how
was.
strong it was.
Oh man,
Strong to cuss.
couldn't belong to me.
Come on. Come
Got
on.
two kids by this nigga. It was wrong with me. Very well said, Rachel. That was beautifully said. I think that's a perfect way to kind of wrap up the storyline as far as the film and the ending of it. Best quotes.
We've set them all. I don't have a lot. Obviously, like I said, started on a lie. It can never be perfect. What do you see? Nothing. Just because I thought that was crazy. And again, we're selling fantasy and suicide ain't sexy. And then, I love you like a step nephew, right? That's literally all I have quote wise.
So I actually have different quotes.
Give them to me. Give them to me.
Opportunity can't tell time.
Okay.
Truth is the only safe ground to stand upon.
Mm-hmm.
Church girls are the ones you got to look out for because let's just say a nigga been blessed. When after I forget exactly when it was, it might have been after the Mile High thing when she asked him to go to the awards with her. He just looked at her and said, I'm just your little bitch now, huh? I just thought that was a funny little moment. That's some shit I'd have said. Oh, I'm just your little bitch now, huh? You think I'm gonna go to awards because you got me on this flight, took my virginity, air quotes. And then the last quote I had was really just a statement more than a quote. That night this is when she pulled up. He was about to go to his vetting event, and she pulled up on him in the driveway, and she said, "That night on the balcony, you saw the goodness in me. It was enough to keep me going until I was finally able to see it in myself." Just the importance of being kind to people sometimes and just being there. Like sometimes people just need a boost and they just need a little somebody to see them, as we said. And just how that one small gesture kind of helped her more than he could probably ever realize. Scene stealing.
Okay. Again, shout out to Aisha Hines. Machine Gun Kelly is the easy answer, but it's Black History Month, so I'll never do it. Danny Glover.
Yeah, so it's funny. Danny. All right, so Danny Glover's the right answer. And this is an odd movie where, for one reason or another, I only cared about the stars. I only cared about the leads as far as their story. Machine Gun Kelly was entertaining. Matter of fact, this role was supposed to be for a Black actor. Matter of fact, Big Sean auditioned for the role.
Shout out to him and his cameo. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's how he got the cameo. He auditioned for the role, so he didn't get it, but he got in the movie. But Gina said that Machine Gun Kelly just kind of brought an energy when he came in audition, and he flew himself out a couple times, showed he was serious. Yeah, it just kind of worked. But I'm going with Benito Martinez. It's Jesse. Okay. He is the perfect definition of what I think a scene stealer is. Enjoyed every single time he was on camera. Not a lot of screen time. Could have used a couple more scenes.
Yeah.
Like he just felt cool. He just felt like a cool dude. So that's my winner. Things that bother you. I know we covered a lot.
I already said the karaoke, just booing, because that's crazy. Even in a foreign country, they're not about to be booing you during a song. And then again, the amount of disrespect of Machine Gun Kelly or what a kid culprit during the BET Awards of a Black woman.
Yeah, absolutely. That's top of the list without question.
Yeah.
So you touched on it a little bit, and I just want to emphasize how much this bothered me. Leaving a domestic violence arrest to go hop in the limo or the SUV or the black car, whatever it was, to go. And I know Jesse gave him the okay, but my nigga, it's not like this was a petty theft.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't Lou at the liquor store. Shout out to Raising Canaan. Nigga, this is a domestic violence. You gave this woman your card and said, call me. Like, bruh, that's not something I'm just skipping out on. I'm sorry. Make it a different crime if you're going to write that scene. DV just seemed a little bit OD.
Yeah. How did she even know where he was? You don't have this nigga's location.
Right. And
you're not calling the station and saying, oh, he's on a DV case over in Laguna, you know?
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Noni knew. I really believe she just pulled up and said, "Hey, what you doing? Like, I'm about to kidnap you." Cool. Any other circumstance, it would have been player. But I just wish it was, we just brought this random guy in for, I don't know, loitering or some shit,
Yeah.
indecent exposure. I don't know, something. But damn, my nigga DV, hold on, man. I gotta get this nigga talking to.
Paperwork.
I'll be out in a minute. Yeah. I gotta make sure his paperwork done properly.
Yeah.
I gotta know what's going on with him. And the only other thing that I had was Kaz's story / B plot just didn't do it for me. We talked earlier about the movie being a little too long, maybe 15, 20 minutes too long. And I think if you get away with some of that, I didn't need the scene with the preachers. I didn't even need the domestic violence thing. It didn't really lead to much other than showing us that this nigga had a weak shot, like, because he was point blank and missed you. Like, it just didn't do anything to progress the movie.
Yeah.
So I could have done without that.
And you could say that the shot is what catapulted him to going to check on Noni, like, oh, a near-death experience.
Fair.
Go get my love.
Fair. Any actors from The Wire? No. Soundtrack, great throughout the film.
Yeah.
Just a great soundtrack. Wouldn't let that happen to me. I think we covered all of the things we wouldn't let happen to me. If you're confused, just listen to the BET Awards conversation. None of that shit going on with us. And for me personally, I'm not acting like Kaz when she wants to go back to her life and we got to leave Mexico. There's no way, no way that's my response and that's how I'm acting.
For sure.
Not at all. That's no excusing it. I don't care who you are, bro. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable behavior. Trivia. We went through, or excuse me, I spoke through a few of them. Google really cut herself on that glass when she was breaking the. Yeah, she really cut herself on that glass. The lyrics that Noni read to Kaz were really written by her. So those are her words and her lyrics. Kid Culprit's assault at the BET Awards was supposed to be more overt. Like, a lot more was supposed to go on, but they had to keep the PG-13 rating, so they cut a lot of it out. So the fact that it was even going to be more than that really would have.
Baby, I might not have made it through the rest of the movie.
And I already told you that Google was hanging from the balcony. That was really her, no stunt double. So the fact that she can sing, she can act, she's doing her own stunts. She on some real-time cruise shit. Yeah, you feel me? She on some real-time cruise shit. So, Ray P.
Yeah.
That was a very fun conversation.
It was.
I could not imagine having these conversations with anybody else but you. And I appreciate you for sharing this space with me. I'm excited to see what the rest of the month is going to do for us. But before we get out of here, we have to rate the film.
Okay.
So the average viewer rates this film 6.8 out of 10. Too high, too low, just right.
Too low, 7.4.
Too low, 7.3.
Okay.
So that's exactly what I had down. We're right there on the same thing. Very fun experience for this being my first time. I said it. I've already watched it. I watched it 3 times already. It will be in the rotation of my rom-com, not rom-com, but rom-drams. It is definitely in the rotation. I rock with it. And as you can see, we're at an hour 43, one of our longer episodes, which means there was a lot to be said about it. So that shout out, hat tip to everybody involved. Gina Prince Bythewood, all the actors, production crew, everything, man. Had a real good time talking to you about this. Please do not forget to check out our Linktree. It's in the episode description. You can find us and everything that we're involved in there. Don't forget about School's Guilty Pleasures. If you subscribe to this feed, you will see that next week. We got y'all. Please check out that link. We have some episodes that will be coming out soon for you, discussing television. And we'll be back next week to continue Romance Month. So with that being said, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool?
Peace out. Thanks, guys. Bye.
We out.